Hello. Welcome to Frizzy's Corner Bar. What you up to? I hear all this sizzling going on over there.
Nothing. What are you doing?
Just smelling the great dinner that you're making. What is it you're making tonight?
Roast beef.
Roast beef? What's that beeping?
Oh, my beeper.
We have some beeping going on. So tonight is Applefest. So we are going to be preparing things that feature apples. So Mike, what are you making?
I'm taking 2 pork tenderloins and I'm gonna actually.
Well, what's the name of the recipe?
Oh, it's brown sugar and apples pork tenderloin.
Okay, so we're having brown sugars and apple pork tenderloin, and I am making 2 cocktails featuring Laird's Applejack liquor, which is a great fall liquor to try. So, do you want me to start with the cocktail?
Yeah, I have a few minutes. Everything's just about done. So,
okay. Did you wanna say anything, or do you wanna?
I got nothing to say tonight.
Okay.
No, I do. Actually, I do.
Well, I can make the cocktail, and you can, if that's distracting you right now.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you let me work on that for a minute, and then
Okay.
I'll come back and talk about a couple things I just want to mention, please.
Sure. So we got a little late start today. So the first cocktail I'm going to make is a riff on a Manhattan. This is a stirred cocktail. So I have my stirring glass, and it takes 2 ounces of the Laird Applejack and 1 ounce of sweet vermouth. So this is a riff on a Manhattan. So if you like Manhattans, I think you'll like this drink. So, as always, I have my chilled coupe glass. So this cocktail is served in a coupe glass. And I start out by measuring all of the ingredients in my stirring glass. So this is going to take 2 ounces of vermouth, sweet vermouth. And I'm measuring all the liquors into the cocktail glass before I add the ice, because I don't want to have any pre-dilution. And 4 ounces, so I'm making a double recipe. So 4 ounces of the Laird's. And then 6 dashes of bitters. Now, this bitter that I'm going to use tonight is a Bitter Truth. It's the Jerry Thomas bitter, and I like this with the Applejack because it kind of has notes of clove, and it goes really nice with the Applejack and makes you think a little bit of fall there. So it's 6 dashes, and actually, it is 3 dashes. I maybe did that wrong. It's 3 dashes, but I'm putting 6 in because I'm doubling it up. Need to correct my recipe online. Apologize for that. And now I'm just going to fill my mixing glass all the way to the top with ice. And then I'm going to stir it until it's diluted. I'll move the glasses a little bit so you can see the stirring. So again, you insert the back of the spoon into the glass, and as you stir, you're just keeping that spoon around the edge of the mixing glass. You're not really you don't really want to shake up the ice. You just are really stirring it to get that dilution. And I pretty much, you want to keep stirring until you see the chill on the glass. And you really can't over stir, because at a point in time, the dilution will actually stop once it gets to a certain dilution. So I'm just going to keep stirring a little bit longer. And then because it's a stirred cocktail, I use my julep strainer. Whenever you're pouring 2, if you kiss the glasses right next to each other, you can just walk it back and forth to get your glasses. Just gonna get every bit out of there. And then this cocktail takes a lemon swab. So I have it, and you just squeeze it to get the lemon essence into the top of the drink. And there is your star cocktail. So Mike, you wanna come over and take a sip?
I do.
Let's see, we have Martin Cahill here. He says, get her done. Thanks for joining us, Martin.
Hey, Martin.
And he says, get her done, good stuff. And
Hi, Rose. You're probably there as well. So Rose is my boss from John Hancock. We worked together for gosh, I don't know, in annuity marketing, and then we worked in the leads unit where we were generating marketing leads for our field force. So we have a long history there. So, all right, cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Love you.
Love you.
You almost took a drink.
I did.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me talk about a couple of the things.
That's very tasty. So before you get started, I just want to say we would, love comments, like and share. We like to interact a little bit, so it's fun when people comment during the live show. So comment away.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. You want me to comment?
Yes, comment.
Okay. First off, I made this pork tenderloin, and it uses kind of an interesting mixture. I was a little hesitant at first because it called for Dijon mustard and apple cider and some things of that nature. And I wasn't really sure how that would all go. But once I made everything up and tried it, it was like, this is really tasty. So it's really a simple recipe. It's about, I did 2 pork tenderloins.
Sure.
Yeah, so 1 second here.
Just take 1 second to get the.
Okay. So hopefully this looks okay. It looks hopefully better than the roast beef from last week. And the roast beef, honestly,
it was delicious.
that disappeared. We had some friends over after, and they were chowing that stuff down. So this is really 2 pork tenderloins. I put the recipe up on Frozy's Corner Bar, so make sure you go there and look at it. And then read down at the bottom, because I put some comments in there, because with pork tenderloin, it's an extremely lean cut of meat. And people think pork is fatty and all that. This is not. This is very lean. There's hardly any fat. And what's important about a pork tenderloin is that you trim off the fat. It's really just lines of fat that's there. And then you also take off what they call it the silver skin. And it's basically like a chewy skin that basically wraps around the pork tenderloin when it's in the pig. You always want to remove that because you really don't want that on the pork when you serve it, because it's kind of chewy and it doesn't really tenderize or get cooked or anything. It just you just feel this chewy thing. So this is really simple. I have 2 pork tenderloins. These totaled out to about 2 1/4 pound total. It's salt and pepper on all around, and then I just threw 2 or 3 tablespoons of I use avocado oil because I like cooking with that, because it takes a really high heat. And not that you cook these on a high heat, because you do have brown sugar in there and it will burn. And you can see I do have a little bit of brown on there from the brown sugar. And then it's just the oil, and then it's a couple of tablespoons of Dijon mustard. What else is in there? A 1/2 cup of brown sugar, which I thought was a little much, but I followed the recipe. A tablespoon of minced garlic. I use fresh garlic. A friend of Shannon's grows this up in Maine, and there's an incredible difference between what you buy at the store and fresh garlic. It's like, holy smokes, you cannot believe the difference, honestly. And then apple cider. I threw a couple tablespoons of apple cider in there, and then I did 2 medium apples. And so I use Granny Smith apples for this because I like the way that they cook. They don't break down as much. And speaking of apples, I went to Muncie Farm over on Union Street, and they have signs out. They sell these great apples. This apple right here is from there. And
so what kind is that? Is that a Macintosh?
I don't know. They just said Max, M-A-C. So I don't know what kind it is. Macintosh. But anyway, it was really good. $10 for a huge bag. In terms of this is really easy. What I did is I got the oil nice and hot, I took the, go to the recipe, but anyway, you mix up the ingredients that I had mentioned, and then you just coat that with pork tenderloin, and then I had my pan at medium high, I guess something around there, and then I put these in there, and after about 2 or 3 minutes, you're constantly turning them to brown this evenly on all the sides of the meat, not just the top and the bottom, but the sides and everything you can. And then after about 10 minutes, then I dumped in my apples and just stirred that around. And then just continued to cook until it got up to temp. So I cooked this to about 140, and I like to keep it covered for right now because I want it to finish out, and I want it to rest for at least 3 to 5 minutes. And resting is really important, whether you're cooking steaks or tenderloin or any kind of meat. You don't want to take it off the grill and cut right into it. You want all the juices to kind of relax, the meat to relax and flow back into wherever it belongs. So the other thing,
looks delicious.
it does. I hope it
Smells really good too.
Holy crap!
And
I guess I should shut off the stove.
That's like that's a one pot meal.
Yeah, one pan. Sorry, I left the stove on and my stuff is burning. So if you see a lot of smoke, it's not that we're smoking. It's that my skillet back there is. Can you see it? Look at that. So anyway.
Kevin Shoei says it looks delicious.
I hope it is, Kevin.
And Jeannie says, my son Jim makes a mean bacon wrapped pork loin roast. Yum, yum.
Yes, we do that as well. We like the bacon wrap. We also do turkey loins that way as well, wrap them with bacon. So the other thing I wanted to mention is I went to Wilkins Signs today. Wilkins Signs down on Plain Street. It's down across from like the Dunkin' Donuts area. And that's the first time I've ever been in there, first off. And they make some of the most amazing signs. And Janine is a riot. Holy smokes, I was laughing. And if you've not been there, I recommend that you just stop by, check it out. She'll make anything you need. And I'm not trying to do a commercial for her, but I picked up the sign for David Mokians. David, this always gets hard for me. Anyway, David was really cool kid. I didn't know him. I know his mom and I know his aunt really well. And everything I heard about him and, you know, everything. He passed away a few months ago from cancer. I think he was 16 or 17 years old. Very young man. But he was a big swimmer. And Wilkins Signs are making these for $25. And they're donating all the money to Cops for Kids for Cancer. And David was a big swimmer, and both of our sons were big swimmers. Our son Max was on MASC, which is Marshfield Area Swim Club for I think 5 or 6 years. And he got, I have a bunch of his ribbons in there. He did really well. And then Jake was also part of MASC, and he did super well. And I think David was part of that as well. So I stopped by there today, picked this up. I recommend that, you know, swing by. Sorry, I have a hard time with this stuff. I honestly do. It's you know, I get very emotional. It is for me. But anyway, stop by. That donation of $25 goes straight to Cops for Kids for Cancer. Wilkins is making these signs for, you know, for free. So anyway, so I'm gonna go wipe my eyes and I'll be back.
Okay, so on that note, the next cocktail is it's called a Jackrabbit. Now, last year, this time, we made an Applejack sour. It's very similar to that. This recipe, I find, is more balanced because it's 50% lemon juice and 50% orange juice. We tried several of these last week, and we were just going to do one demo cocktail because I had a bottle left over from last season of the Laird's, and we finished that, and we also almost polished this one off. I had to buy one. I was planning to just finish it off and use the last of it on this show, but I had to buy another bottle, so I knew we could get through tonight's show and have enough of the Applejack. But We made it last weekend. One of the things I really like about this cocktail, it's very balanced. It's not too sweet. It's not too sour. And the Laird's is 80 proof, so it's 40% alcohol. So you can actually drink a couple of them and not feel like, it's not like the liquor star drink. It's not like a Manhattan. It just goes down really easy. It's a nice sipping cocktail. So because this has the juice in it, I will put up the recipe here. So we're gonna shake it. We always shake if there's citrus, dairy, egg, or milk. And we always pour the liquor into the mixing vessel and before we add the ice. So this will take 2 ounces of Laird for one, so I'm putting 4 ounces in. And I don't think I'm gonna get 4 ounces out of this bottle. So we have a dead soldiers. This Laird is the history of Laird's is very interesting. This dates back to 1760. It was one of George Washington's favorite boozes. It's really a brandy, a fortified brandy, and it's very tasty. So we have 4 ounces of that. I've already pre-measured. I've already squeezed, and you always want to strain your fresh juice. So I squeezed and strained a lemon and an orange, and 3/4 each. So we have 1.5 ounces of each. And again, you want to make sure you get that 50-50 ratio. Last weekend I had run out of lemons, so I put a little more orange juice in it, and it wasn't that great. I also then tried one with the lemon cordial, and then that was too tart. So absolutely need to do the 50-50. And then it takes a 1/2 ounce of pure maple syrup. Last week we also tried one of them with the bourbon maple syrup from Trader Joe's.
No.
Do not recommend that. So you want to go with just the regular, straight, pure maple syrup. And we're going to do 1 ounce of this because it's a 1/2 ounce. Oh, we have some more comments. Let me stop before I add ice and start shaking. Sandy says,
Where's that pie, Sandy?
I joined late. Are those apples I see from the local farm? Yes, they are. Thank you for the recommendation, Sandy. Mike stopped by Muncie's today. And Carolyn Flathers says, Paul's grandmother liked the Laird's Applejack. It is really, it's a great liquor. I agree. I agree with Paul's grandmother. And let's see, just make sure I haven't lost my place. So we have everything in the shaker. I'm gonna fill this with ice.
I think this is Kevin's favorite part.
Could you stop it? I'm gonna fill the shaker with ice, and now I'm gonna give this a good shake. As I always say, you want to shake until you can't hold that shaker anymore. Now shaking is similar to the stirring. As long as you keep the container together after you're done shaking, you don't have to worry about over dilution. It will stay good. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I have my chilled coupe glasses. I'm going to kiss them together. And then I'm going to open the shaker. And anytime you do a shake and drink, particularly if it's with a juice or something that could have some particulate in it, you want to use a fine mesh strainer. Kiss your glasses, just walk it back and forth. And make sure you get everything out of there. Don't want to leave anything behind. And again, same lemon peel. You want to squeeze it so you get that spritz on the top, so you see the oil on the top. And there is your Applejack rabbit. And of course, I just spilled that on my mouse.
Oh my gosh.
I know, I just spilled that on my mouse. Okay.
All right.
No more comments. Okay, you wanna?
Ooh, it's mine. Oh, I'll grab this one. Sorry. Cheers.
Cheers. Love you.
Love you too. Actually,
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, everyone.
Happy October. Can you believe it's
Oh my
October
gosh.
already?
Yeah, I like that actually.
Mm.
That's very good.
Like I said, this is an excellent cocktail. It's very well balanced,
Yeah, that's.
and you can drink a few of them and not feel like you've drank too much liquor. And it doesn't. I think there's something about the combination of the orange juice and the lemon juice. Like sometimes if I drink things that have too much lemon or too much lime in them, the acid bothers me. But for some reason, the orange juice kind of offsets that acidic reaction. Okay, so
Can
Mike
you
has
switch over?
I sure can. Let me just hide
Okay,
this.
so I got a couple things I forgot to mention.
Okay.
So,
Woo!
all right.
Our dinner. Doesn't that look yummy?
So I don't know how this looks on camera, but last night I made purple cabbage with carrots. I made it into a slaw, and it's really more of a pickle than a slaw. What I mean by that is it's really just letting it soak in the vinegar. And you know, people think pickling, oh, you gotta put it in cans and do it for months or something. You really not. You can pickle something in a matter of minutes. So that's my cabbage. This over here is just some roasted vegetables that I did, and what I do is I slice everything up, and this has carrots, zucchini, summer squash, sweet potatoes, celery, onions, gold potatoes. I was going to do some, butternut squash, but it didn't really look good at the store, so I didn't buy it. And then I sliced it all up, dumped it into a gallon Ziploc bag. I put a bunch of avocado oil in there because I cooked this at about 400 for about 15 minutes to get a good roast on it. But I also put in some olive oil, not extra virgin, but regular olive oil. And then I added in some spices that I like, and then I just shook it and just mixed everything
I
up.
need people with this cocktail. Hands, do you get closer?
Yes. Didn't know I was Italian.
So Kevin Joyce says, refrain her, Mike.
Uh,
I don't know what I did this time.
So anyway, then I throw this on a cookie sheet. Make sure everything is flat on the sheet. You don't want anything stacked on top of each other because it won't wrap. So you notice, oh, that's an apple. But my potatoes get a nice brown to them. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then we have our pork here, and I have some of the apples right there on the side. So moving that out of the way, I just wanted to mention, this summer I tried something new in our garden. I try new stuff all the time, actually. And some of my crop really came out great. One of the things that I done is I tried 2 different styles of popcorn.
Because I love popcorn.
So I grew one that was called, I think it was called glass corn or something like that. And that's this one here. And it's got all these crazy colors. And I had tons of this stuff. I probably had 50 of these corn plants and probably 50 of these. This here is called mauve. So you can see it's more of a reddish color. Well, you're supposed to let it, once it's ripe, you're supposed to let it set for 30 days on the stalk. Well, I guess the deer realized that they were letting it sit out there. So this is all I have.
Really?
That's
Oh
big.
my
I went
God.
out there and it's like, oh my gosh, it's all gone, you know, but anyway, we have enough to get, you know, some popcorn here. So anyway,
I love making flavored popcorn. I have all kind. That's my. Whenever I want a snack, I always come in and try to do some artistic or crafty popcorn. So maybe I'll have to do that.
Yeah, sometimes smoked paprika. Sometimes she'll do chipotle, just different things. But anyway.
Jeannie says all looks good. A meal fitting for a king. Fit for a king. Absolutely. Okay, you want the other can back? I
Yeah,
find
please.
it. Sorry.
And so then something else I had grown. I grew some other things as well, and I grew some things that were sort of crazy. But these are Scotch bonnet, Jamaican Scotch bonnet peppers. When I picked them, they were green like this. And somebody said, "Oh, they're supposed to be red." And I said, "I don't have any idea because I've never grown them before." So as they said in the house, they've turned to this yellow color. So I looked up online, and yes, this is the right color. So last night, I took one that was even smaller than this one. Okay, that was even smaller than that, and I diced it up super, super fine, and I put it in. I put it in this slaw that I just had shown you, that purple cabbage slaw, and then I put it in something else, and it was like, oh my gosh, it was so hot. It was so good. It was good. We like hot stuff.
Right, and I actually
that was hot.
have a recipe for some cocktails made with Scotch bonnet pepper syrup. So we'll have to do that in a
We'll get back to you on that.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, it was fun, and I just wanted to share that with you guys.
Okay.
So,
are you done?
Oh, for now, I guess.
Well, thank you guys, everyone. As always, we appreciate you joining us at Fry's Corner Bar. We love to hear your likes, your comments, your shares, even if it's constructive criticism, that would be helpful. If you want to see something, let us know. We always like trying out and testing new recipes and new things. And like, comment, and share. Tell 2 friends.
Yes. You want to show my cardinal basil?
Oh, yes. He can show.
This is something else I grew that was different.
It's harvest season, so he's very excited.
Yeah. So this is cardinal basil, and this is like a super dark red, almost. I don't know. Is it like, I'm colorblind on certain colors?
It's actually almost purple.
Yeah, it's almost purple, but it's supposed to be like this cardinal dark red. But it's if you've ever used Thai basil, which is sort of a hotter style basil, that's kind of the way this is. Yeah. It smells so good. It's like I cut this last week, and you can see it's still nice and green. I still have a lot more out there.
The taste is much different than Italian basil. It like Mike said, it tastes much more like Thai basil. There's like a hint of mintiness, but it's like a deep mintiness. This is another thing. I have a great Thai basil cocktail. I can make a cardinal basil.
And if you're in the neighborhood and you want to stop by, I'll cut you off a branch or 2 of this stuff, because it's seriously, it's a very interesting basil. And I have the Italian basil also, but I just love the way that this came into a nice bloom like that. So. And
it made the house smell wonderful.
It does.
Exactly. So Kevin says, great show. Thank you, Kevin, and thank you for joining us and being a loyal follower. We really appreciate it.
We do. Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend. Happy fall.